Your love is like radiant diamonds bursting inside us, we cannot contain.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Faith and Family. Happy Easter! We made it! We're here! We got all the way through Lent, and I hope you had a wonderful Holy Saturday and an even more wonderful Easter Sunday. First Sunday of Easter, because there's a few. Easter actually goes on for 50 days. Even though we might get some special treats or color eggs or do all the fun things on one day, Easter goes on for a very long time. If you thought Lent was a long time, Lent's only 40 days. Easter goes on for 50 days. It's a really big deal. So, because we're going to be celebrating Easter for a while, this whole week we're going to be talking about Easter and doing different activities for Easter as well. So today we are going to make our very own Easter lilies. Because if we were in the church right now, you would probably see Easter lily flowers all over the place. Usually churches decorate with Easter lilies a lot at Easter time. And you may notice that our sacred space looks a little bit different. I went ahead and took off our purple table covering pillowcase and replaced it with a white table covering blanket because we are no longer in Lent. We're not going to use purple anymore. It's time for white, the time of the celebration, or the color for celebrating, the color for feast days like Easter and Christmas. So, and I also went ahead and put a little bowl of holy water. We had some holy water in our house, so we put it right there. And if you don't have holy water, that's okay. If you want, you can even just put some regular water, just kind of as a symbol or a reminder. Because once again, if we were at our church right now, we would notice that the holy water font would be all the way opened. Not just the little, it's not little, but not just the one that's always there when you walk in, but even the one that goes all the way down into the floor that people walk into on the Easter Vigil to be baptized, the big one, that would be full and the water would be flowing and it would be staying like that for all of Easter. So I put some holy water on our sacred space just as a reminder of that. And then also we can bless ourselves with it throughout the day. And it's a good reminder of our baptismal promises, which we're going to talk about later in a couple weeks. But yeah, so we're making some new decorations for our sacred space. So we're going to make some Easter lilies for our sacred space. This is pretty easy. You're going to need some tape, some scissors, some paper, and then if you have them, cool, some pipe cleaners. If you don't have pipe cleaners, you can try and use a straw, or you could even try and use some paper, maybe some cardstock. I saw even on one website, people used coat hangers. So you can get creative. What you're going to do first is you're going to get a piece of paper and you're going to trace your hand. You can kind of see there's mine right now. This is a really good thing for our littles to do because it actually helps if the fingers are a little wider. So I know when Cece helps me, sometimes the fingers are really, really wide and it's not really precise. That's okay. You kind of want it to look like that. It's going to make your flower look real nice and full. So go ahead, trace your hand on a piece of paper, and then we're going to cut it out. All right?
Like radiant diamonds.
Okay, so I cut out my hand. The fingers are a little wide, but that's okay. That's good. And then you're going to roll it up kind of like an ice cream cone. So you want it a little tighter at the bottom. And wider at the top. And when you get to that point where it's pretty narrow at the bottom, you're going to go ahead and get a piece of tape and tape it so it'll stay right there. You could also staple it if you needed, if you didn't have any tape. It's kind of a weird angle, so I'm using tape. All right, so now it's going to be like this. Then you're going to get a pencil, and you're going to use your pencil to roll back each of the fingers. All right, so just like this, roll, roll, roll. Number 2. Almost done. Here we go. And we'll just do this last little guy right here. Great. And then you can kind of loosen them up a little bit so they're not super coiled. Very good. So we have our petals. Next, you're going to get your pipe cleaners. So I'm going to use a green one for my stem. And then the yellow one I'm actually going to cut so it's a little bit smaller. And I'm going to put it up here at the top, kind of like a cross. And I'm just going to, probably like that actually. And then bend the green one down and just kind of wrap it around so it stays put. All right, so like that. And then I'm going to get my yellow one and make kind of a U shape. And then I'm going to bend down the edges just a little bit so they're not, the pokey parts aren't sticking out. There we go. So it just kind of look like this a little bit. Now you're going to get your flower petals and your pipe cleaner and drop it in like that. And now you have your beautiful Easter lily. And we can use these to decorate our sacred space. All right, so I had actually learned some pretty cool things about Easter lilies when I was researching this craft. One of them was, you may have noticed this one and real ones are kind of shaped like a trumpet or a horn. If you look from the side, you can kind of see. And that shape is really cool because it kind of symbolizes how a trumpet would sound the message of Jesus's resurrection. And then also the color white is symbolic of purity and cleanliness. And again, that's kind of symbolic of how Jesus removed the stain of sin from the world by his suffering and death. And another thing that I thought was really fascinating is when Easter lilies are planted, they don't come from seeds like other plants. They come from a bulb. So kind of like a tulip. If you've ever planted tulips, it's just a bulb. It's not a tiny little seed, and it's kind of ugly looking. It's brown. It's not really pretty at all. And Easter lilies, specifically Easter lilies, have to be in the ground for 3 years before they will actually bloom their first set of flowers. It's a really, really long time. But again, that's kind of symbolic of what we just celebrated in the Holy Triduum. So there was this kind of ugly, yucky bulb, and then it had to go and be under the ground for 3 years until it would bloom and have this beautiful blossom. So just like Jesus had to carry the wood of the cross and suffer and die, and that was not pretty or fun, and then he was put in the tomb, and then on the 3rd day he rose. It's a lot like our Easter lilies. So I hope you have a really fun time making these at home and decorating your sacred space for the season of Easter. And today we are going to read The Story of Easter by Patricia Pingree. When spring comes, baby animals are born and flowers begin to bloom like Easter lilies. Springtime also brings Easter. On Easter, we remember Jesus and what he did for us. Jesus loved all boys and girls, and moms and dads too. He was called the Good Shepherd. Moms and dads and boys and girls loved Jesus too. They laid palm branches in his path. Remember Palm Sunday? But some men did not like Jesus. They put him on a cross to die. His friends were sad. And if you see right here, there's the crosses on the hill. On that first Easter, Jesus' friends met an angel. He told them, Jesus has risen. He is alive today. His friends were very happy. So there's the tomb. There's the women that came to see him. And there's the angel saying, he's not here. We celebrate Easter because Jesus lived again on that first Easter morning. Look at those Easter lilies. Oh my goodness. On Easter Sunday, we go to church and sing about Jesus. How many of you watched Mass at home? Churches place crosses on their steeples to remind us of Jesus's love. So this is a steeple right here. And there's a cross on top. So just like at St. Gregory the Great, we don't have a steeple, but we have a big dome. It's kind of like a teal color. And we have a cross on top of it. Actually, it's kind of funny. We were, this is a little off topic, but we were watching the news, and there was an image and it had the logo of the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol. And because it's a domed building, Cece said, look, Mom, it's St. Gregory the Great, because she recognized the dome. Now on Easter morning, you'll know that Jesus loved us so much that he gave his life for us so that we can live too. The end. Very good. Okay, my friends, I hope you continue to have a wonderful Easter season. We're going to be back here tomorrow at 2:00. We're going to have a really fun, delicious activity. We're going to be in the kitchen. And I'll give you a hint. We're going to be using marshmallows. So it's going to be pretty yummy. But yeah, know that we are praying for you. We love you. We miss you. And we can't wait to see you real soon.